What is up, people, and welcome. It is Kage, and I just want to give you guys my thoughts and impressions of Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. Before I start, I do want to mention that I do think this is the full game, or at least where they're at with the game as of right now. And the reason why I do say this because of the fact that they do lock some of the modes because they say this is not available through the beta. With that, they do not have that many modes. They have story mode, gauntlet mode, which is basically arcade mode, and sparring mode, which is not available through the beta, so you can't really play that. But my guess is that you get to play against someone at your home or locally. And they also have tutorial. Now let's start with story mode, because people are probably wondering what's in story mode. Just so that you guys know, there isn't really anything in story mode. They only let you retrieve memories, so you can see like videos or clips of the story, which I think a lot of people would prefer not to do that, especially if they're not allowing you to play the game. I think most people would just rather buy the game and actually play it instead of seeing like little clips of the story. As for the offline modes, there's gauntlet mode, which acts as arcade mode. It allows you to play standard battles. Whoever gets 3 kills first wins, and core battle, which you have to destroy the enemy's core, basically like an arena game where you have to destroy the enemy's core before they destroy yours. As for the overall gameplay, the game, you don't really fight with that many buttons. Basically, it's just X and square, the attack buttons, but I would just basically say X. Square is more like a super attack, kind of like in PlayStation All-Stars. You have to kill the opponent with a super attack. You have to break the enemy's meter down, and then actually finish them off with an HP attack. So it's kind of like PlayStation All-Stars, but you only get to use one, and you can't build it up into many different supers or anything like that. You can unlock more HP attacks, but you can't switch between them during mid-battle. You have to actually switch between them before the battle starts, and you're stuck with that one until the battle ends. So if you choose one, you kind of have to choose it wisely. So far, it seems like every character has 2. I'm not 100% sure if that's the maximum number, but so far it seems like there's only 2 they allow you to use during the battle. I'm not sure if you can unlock more, possibly, and I'm not 100% sure. They also allow you to use EX skills during mid-battle by clicking triangle, and the EX skills are basically like the magic that you can use in the Final Fantasy games like Poison or Daze or something like that. They also have dash, you can dodge, you can also block. And the blocking's like Super Smash Bros. When your character's in the blocking stance, there's a force field around them and it's green. So as you get hit, it depletes, and as it depletes, it starts becoming orange, then it hits red. When it hits red, that means it's about to break. Of course, if it breaks, the enemy can start inflicting damage upon your character. I also forgot to mention circle is to jump, so that may confuse a few people when you first play it, but after a while you'll get used to it, because I did. As for summonings, because they are a big part of this game and they can turn the tide of the battle, in order to summon you have to break the crystals, and it's kind of like the brawl in Super Smash Bros. So it kind of appears randomly during the battle, and then you can lock onto it and break it. So if there's a bunch of people trying to break it, it does get more difficult. And if you fail to break it, you would not be able to get your summon, and if the enemy breaks it, they will be able to summon and you won't be able to, then you're gonna have to get wrecked by that big creature. Now, summonings cannot do HP damage, but they can break the character down so you can do the HP damage on the character. Now, one of the last things I wanted to mention, there are different classes. There are Vanguard, which is Cloud. The Vanguard is supposed to do heavy hitting, and they're not supposed to be that fast, and deals a lot of damage. Then you have assassins like Squall. He's an assassin. They're very fast, but they don't deal too much damage. I guess you could kind of look at them as a flank type character. Then they have the Marksmen. Most of the time it's like magic users, they're using range attack, so you kind of don't want to get too close when you're fighting like Vanguards or Assassins with the Marksmen. Their main thing is trying to stay far and, deal damage. So basically you kind of look at them as like a sniper. Then they have the Specialist. The Specialist seems like they're a well-balanced character between all the other classes, and their range is pretty decent. They're not too fast, but they're not too slow, and they're not too strong or they're not too weak. So the Specialist seems like a overall balanced character like Bartz and Onion Knight, and they don't feel too strong or they don't feel too weak. I mainly play Vanguards, and my main is Cloud Strife and then Farion. Cloud's my boy. He's gonna be my main anyway. He's my favorite Final Fantasy character, and I mained him in Dissidia 1 and 2. But I'll have to admit, Cloud does seem a little OP'd, and I can see them nerfing him in the future. And the reason why I say this is because Cloud is pretty fast for a Vanguard, and I could even blitz some of the assassins before they could blitz me or attack me, get their attacks off. And his range game is pretty up there. It's not like it's very bad or it's lacking. His range game is probably the best out of the close range fighters and Vanguards. His range game is the best so far, because we can only play a certain amount of characters. You don't have every character, but so far other characters are on the roster. His range game is the best when it comes to close range characters like Vanguards or Assassins. I think his is kind of the best. Specialists, I think his aren't better than the Specialist, but compared to other Vanguards and Assassins, his does seem like it's the best. Now, I'm not saying that he's broken. I'm just saying that he does seem a little more powerful compared to other Vanguards and other characters. Before I end this video, I want to mention 2 more things. One is the Mugo. Like, when you play the game, that Mugo is going to get on your every last nerves. It's going to make you want to jump into the game and choke the crap out of that thing. Now, with that, I have to say it's not too bad because you can turn the Moogle off and it would not talk anymore. But if you don't know this, it's going to get on your nerves because I didn't really know that, and I was thinking about doing it, but I never went to options and actually seeing if you can, and they do allow you to. So I give them props for that. Also, I would say with the Moogle, some people may need the Moogle on because, you know, some people forget to probably do a lot of things. They may not really pay attention like that. If you're a person that's playing and you're not really paying attention, the Moogle can actually come in handy. I have to give them props for that because it does warn you. It tells you about things you may forget about during mid-combat. So it is helpful. It's helpful at the end of the day, but it just talks too much. Talking about this Moogle actually triggered something I actually want to mention in the beginning of the video, which was, you know, all this the icons and these arrows on the screen. Do they bother me when I play? No, I honestly don't really see them when I play, but in a way I do, but then I don't. I think it's more of something that if somebody's watching the game is more of annoying because, you know, you're looking at all these things on the screen, but the person who's playing the game, you don't really notice them like that. And also they do help you because they show you where the people are on the map, so it's kind of like a map in a way. It points to like your enemies and your allies to show you where they are, so in my opinion it's actually needed. With that, the last thing I want to mention is that they have loot boxes. Yes, they have loot boxes. I cannot believe they actually put loot boxes in this game, and it kind of makes me not want to buy the game. But overall, I cannot lie, I enjoyed this game a whole lot, and I still am enjoying it because I'm still playing it and I play it often, and it's very fun. So that is basically it for my thoughts and impressions of Final Fantasy Dissidia. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about the beta if you played it or if you have any questions. But with that being said, don't forget to power by hitting the like button, subscribe to join the guild, and as always, my boys and girls, have a good one, and game over.